Hey y'all, how's it going? Well, I was just refinishing a table. I should say, I found a table on the side of the road. It was a pretty nice 60s or 70s table. It was all, it was a round table where the leaves on the side dropped down. And it had a little bit of, it was definitely well worn on the edges. And so I brought it home. And today I told myself when I got up, I'm going to bring the thing in here, I'm going to sand it down, and then I'm going to stain it and I'm going to revarnish it. So I just got done with the first coat of polyurethane, and it looks great, or at least a lot better than when I found it. And my thought was just to put it up for $100 or something on Craigslist. But I have a lot of furniture and intentions to, you know, fix up and sell some of this furniture. Now, I was a carpenter for a long time, many years, and so I have many woodworking skills, let's say, and very limited skills when it comes to upholstery and sewing, that kind of thing. But I wanted to do something with it. I wanted to take the time that I have to make something that can make money for the family, right? So my wife had this idea that we'd buy and fix up and sell furniture. And so it was her idea, and this was during the lockdown when, nobody was working and everybody was just stuck at home together. That's not really what this is about, but it's kind of a segue into the discussion I want to have today. Hi, Lucy. Hi, girl. Lucy says hi. Come here, Lucy. Come here. I basically wanted to talk more about who we are as people, and how many people, if you ask them, like, so what do you do, people will say, oh, I'm a carpenter, I'm a mechanic, I'm a gardener, whatever it might be that you think that you do. Most often it's something pertaining to work, because that's what we spend most of our time at, and therefore we assume that when somebody says, what do you do, they'd mean, like, what do you do for money? But when people ask me that, I've made it a point over the years to always think of something absurd, like, well, what do you do? Oh, I'm a philosopher. Oh, well, do you work at a college or something? No, I just talk about life. I don't get shit for it. Well, I get shit for it, but I don't get shit for it. What are you doing, Luz? She's laying in a bunch of sticker bushes from the raspberry plants. Dogs. And I start wondering, who exactly am I? Like, over the years, I've asked myself, how do I define myself as a person, as a human? Everybody seems to want to put a label on people, and I want to just be a human. I don't want to be assumed to be a liberal or a hippie, nor do I want to be assumed to be a certain career path. I don't know. It's just, I think that by having these labels to put on each other as to who we are and what we do, it makes it easier for us to cope with life. It's like we can categorize people in our minds into their little groups, which helps us justify our, I guess, bond with certain people and our disgust with other people, perhaps. The way that people find out that you're a political persuasion and all of a sudden you're the enemy. Or it's not just politics, it's all the way down to music and what art you like. Oh, you don't think that's beautiful? It's strange. That would lead me to a question. Why do we care so much what other people think? Not just about us, but about other things. A good example would be religion. If somebody finds out I'm not religious, sometimes they'll be like, okay, that's your choice. And others will say, well, how could you not? Don't you want your family to live in harmony forever and eternity? And they'll give me this whole runaround about why I should believe what they believe. But they seem more wrapped up in getting me to believe what they believe than just enjoying what they believe and letting it work for them. Same thing happens with a lot of YouTube conspiracies, let's say, or not YouTube conspiracies, but conspiracy channels where somebody says, oh, well, I do agree with this, but I'm not quite sure about that. And somebody says, well, either you believe it all or you believe, or you're not part of the club. That people are labeled as asleep or sheeple because they might not believe one thing another person believes. And I've always been fascinated with this, and I think that the reason for it is that we are so unsure of what we actually think is true that we're willing to throw others under the bus often, or, call them names or tell them they're wrong, even when we're not sure, because what they say might conflict with what we want to believe. It's the same way that science, for example, is utilized by those who find it supports their cause and dismissed by those who hear a result they don't want to hear. We're pretty good at being ignorant and believing things just because we want to, even knowing deep down inside it's bullshit. But, to each his own. Just some random thoughts. Till next time, take care. I'll talk to you later.